I'm up early today. So it's Sunday, October 24th. That's my water for my tea because my first cup I made, it wasn't good. So I'm starting over. But it won't surprise you to hear I'm not going to be outside today. 44.2 degrees. Yeah. Let me go make my coffee and I'll be right back. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I am home again, jiggity jig. We had a very uneventful ride home yesterday, which is always a good thing. And got home and actually mostly put stuff away. Mostly, you know, we don't ever put everything away right away. But did pretty good. The dirty suitcase with the dirty clothes is still in front of the washer, so I'll be doing some laundry today. And but otherwise, most of my stuff is put away. The cooler needs to go in the basement. Dennis has some wine bottles to wash because he took wine and it got drunk. Surprise, surprise. And my art supplies are still in this bin, but to tell you the truth, they might stay in the bin because they don't really have a good place. And if I have a bin, I didn't put every single thing in there, but I put a lot of things in there. So I took most of my stuff, my art stuff, and I didn't use all of it. I have the sun coming in here. My lighting is terrible, but it's early. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. I realized while we were in North Carolina that I was getting up earlier than usual. And I think there are a couple reasons for that. One is that who doesn't want to get up and get their coffee really quick and go sit out and listen to the ocean and watch it? Because gorgeous, gorgeous days. So that's a big draw. Get out of bed and go do that. But the other thing is that the room wasn't nearly as dark as we keep our room. And so when the sun came up, the room, you know, brightened a little bit, and I slowly woke up as the room brightened. And it was not abrupt in any way. It was just like, oh, you know, and now I'm awake. So I opened my curtain a little bit last night before I got in bed so that a little bit of light would come in because our curtains keep our room pretty dark. And it didn't hurt that I fell asleep right away and I slept really well last night. I was tired. And so I slept really well and I woke up and I felt kind of like awake. And, you know, it's not like I dread getting out of bed because I got to go to work or something like that. I mean, I get out of bed to make myself a cup of coffee and talk to you. This is not, you know, there's no reason not to do that joyfully right away instead of laying in bed like, oh. Of course, when I don't sleep well, that's a different story. But so my plan is to not keep my room quite so dark. Apparently, it doesn't bother Dennis. So he says, although he's awake now too. I don't know. That'll be a problem. But he got up and I was awake. And so we had a little conversation and I got dressed and he was awake. So he had trouble falling back to sleep. Possibly because we were doing that interacting thing. Because if he does that with me, like when he comes to bed and he sees my eyes are open, you know, like if I've woken up, he can't talk to me because then I'm awake. So maybe that's what happened to him this morning. I hope that's it and we won't do that anymore because I think I'm gonna keep the room not quite so dark. I think there are like alarm clocks that you can get that will slowly brighten the room. Anyway, that was my theory from the week because I was getting up much earlier during the week than I typically do. And I like that. So I have been frustrated with my schedule that I have been sleeping, that I've been having lately. for no good, real good reason. It's just, you know, I do like early morning. I do like it, you know. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to have to edit this. So, quick before I go into a little bit what was been going on this last week. Our September prize winner never got in touch with me for the Ode to Joy Make-Along prize. So I have redrawn the prize. And Shirley123, you are the winner. I think it's Shirley. Hold on, let me just... It might be Shirley something, but I think it's just Shirley123. But hold on, I wrote it down. I knew Shirley didn't sound long enough. Shirley Knits 123. And so Shirley, you are the winner. It was post 1335, a baby blanket. And so please get in touch with me. You can email me at flameandfiber@mindspring.com. I'll just do this because I don't know which way it goes. flameandfiber@mindspring.com, or you can message me on Ravelry, or you could message me on Instagram. Because I know I follow you on Instagram, so maybe you follow me. Oh, okay. That's going to be a problem. The sun really just came out, and that maybe it's the book now. So anyway, Shirley, get in touch with, I'll just sit up. Get in touch with me with your snail mail address, and I'll get it to Peggy. Thank you so much, Peggy, for the wonderful prize. I still have the picture on my computer, I think. If I do, I'll put it here. Of the beautiful yarn and a Joji Locatelli pattern. And so get in touch with me. And I'll give your information to Peggy, and she'll send it out to you. Now we have another prize, and it's getting to the end of the month. And Marianne has a beautiful prize package she put together from the New Jersey Sheep and Wool Show when she went. And it's a mitts, fingerless mitts kit, and hugga package, and some stitch markers. And thank you both to Peggy and to Marianne for sponsoring our Ode to Joy Make-Along. I mean, it's not like the living room's clean or anything, but you don't need to see my tissues. Well, I am going to straighten up today because we left the house in a pretty much shambles when we walked out the door last Saturday. So we walked in the door, it was pretty much a shambles. Too shambly for me. So I'm going to work on it a little bit today, and I'm going to be painting cards because I did not paint any cards while I was gone. I only sketched in my sketchbook. I didn't put out my studio setup, as they call it, or something like that. Because there's really only one, you know, the only tables that you can sit at a table and do something are in the main area. There are two really big tables, and, you know, one of them had 3 puzzles going at the same time. And because we had a little bit, you know, we had fewer people than typically, everybody could fit on the other table, and so the second table was the puzzle table. But I could have set up on a corner of some table and painted, but right out in the room with everybody else. I'm also not sure what I want to, you know, what my subject of my cards is going to be. That's the barrier, figuring out what to paint. Anyway, so I didn't do that. So I only painted in my notebook. But we had a wonderful time. It was great. It's great to be with family. We haven't seen Vicky since last fall when her father died. And we haven't seen David for a couple years because he didn't come east with her last year. So, you know, so a lot of people we haven't seen in a while. And met some new people that were lovely, and we had a wonderful time. But just sitting out on that balcony, listening to the ocean, watching the waves, or going down to the gazebo where I did some of my recording. I'm sorry about the sound. That last one had a lot of sound too. So, just letting you know, there's no video coming of the kite flying because that didn't work out very well. And my video that I tried to take crossing the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and Tunnel didn't come out very well. So you're just going to have to take my word for those things, I guess. You saw the sisters-in-law, and they're so funny with their kites. Kim got one of the kites up a little bit at one point, but I will show you I'm still working on that rock with the penguins. I'm not quite there yet. And this was some mushrooms I was trying to do a technique, and I'm not finished with that. You can kind of see the mushrooms are drawn there. But, so this is the view from the gazebo. If you looked right. I painted this like the first or second day I was there, the 16th. And those are waves crashing. Now, the last few days, we didn't have any waves crashing, but they were crashing out and whatever. And this is the view from the gazebo looking left, if you're standing there and looking out at the ocean. So this is from the top steps, so you can see the banister and everything. So I'm pretty happy with that. Still, those crashing oceans, that was the same day. Those crashing oceans, let me tell you, I don't know about that. So I might do a little something. I tried to get the effect of them actually rolling, and I did not actually succeed at that. Then I sketched, this is the view from the balcony. So this is the gazebo where I was doing my, and this is the one where I'm going to try to do the clouds, just a little curl of cloud right there, and there was a little sailboat. And I did that in pencil, and then this is the ink part, but I haven't painted it yet. I'm pretty happy with it, but when I look at the view, the perspective here was, you just couldn't see quite that much of the floor on the top. So I got the perspective a little bit wrong. So here is my attempt to figure out how to do the perspective correctly and get that roof line correct. And I was not able to do that. I gave up. It's possible that I did not set the vanishing point correctly, but there is a craftsy class that I want to take on perspective, and that little frustration of trying to do a better job of getting exactly what I saw made me think maybe I should take that class. And then last but not least, my Bodie Island lighthouse. Once again, it was a beautiful day. I tried to get some, you can kind of get the clouds or whatever. The paper's a little warped. There you go. And I got a little spot of something on there, so I decided to put the birds. And then I put the birds upside down. Oh, well. But this is the Bodie Island lighthouse, and it has big stripes, as you can see, so that when the sailors come up upon it, they know that they're at Bodie Island, and this is the lighthouse keepers. Now, in front of this was a big building that was like the visitor center. I was going to walk down. They have a boardwalk you can walk, and I could have gotten a different view of it, but I had to go to the bathroom, and the visitor center was closed, so I had to go home. But I was there for about 2 hours. I had to redraw this a couple of times because I miscounted the stripes, for one thing. And, I wanted to get the perspective right. But I sketched it and painted it while I was there. And I really, really enjoyed doing that. I mean, it was such a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And I was just sitting there just saying, oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is wonderful. So that's fun. I have a camping chair, a portable chair that I had bought years ago because I had to bring it to a knitting group that I was going to in Lancaster, and then I stopped going to the knitting group before I even used the chair. The one time I went after I bought the chair, my car was in the shop and it had the chair in it, so I didn't even get it then. But anyway, so I have this chair for my plein air painting, and it worked out great. It really worked out great. It was so nice. But I did not do nearly as much drawing and sketching and painting as I expected to. I didn't do nearly as much knitting as I had hoped I would. I did some reading, but we did a lot of talking, and I did walk on the beach and, you know, that kind of thing. So, but I didn't do a lot of shopping. I never went to the yarn shop. I didn't go shopping. Well, that's not true. I went with Dennis's nephew Jason came from one day. The poor guy. I mean, he was coming from Charleston, South Carolina, and he was there less than 24 hours. But it was great to see him. But when he packed, he forgot underwear, so he had to go shopping. So I went with him. I didn't want him to go by himself, and he bought me some sweatpants. He's a sweetheart. Because I didn't take my purse because I didn't think I was going to buy anything. And then I tried to pay him, and he said, no, I've missed so many birthdays. I said, Jason, I've never given you a birthday present. He said, yeah, now I'm ahead. Anyway, he's a sweet guy. Oh, and we all discovered, the sisters-in-law and I were talking about him when we were together. It turns out he's 51. Everybody was like, really? You're that old? I don't know how I felt about that. But anyway. So I didn't go to the yarn shop. I didn't look for art supplies. I mean, we went grocery shopping when Aura and I took our walk, our half-a-mile walk that didn't get us to the CVS like we were hoping it would. But I just hung around. You can understand why. Right? It's not a big shock. So anyways, but I did work on my boxy, and I finished the one sleeve with the needle I had and picked up and put it on waste yarn, and then picked up and started the other one, and I finished both sleeves last night after I got home. So I just have around the neck, and then I'm done. So I will be sure to so I'm going to need to do a podcast again soon, because that's a gift, and it's, going to go away. I can't wait around a couple of months to do a podcast like I have been. So, anyway, but first, of course, I have to block it. So there you go. So Shirley Knits 123. If you watch the vlog, which I have no reason to think you do, but if you do, contact me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do a podcast too next week. Oh, speaking of next week, next Saturday is our Zoom craft together in the afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, because our time changes Saturday night. So Saturday is still daylight savings time. Sunday will be standard time. But we will be crafting on Saturday, the 2nd, at 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then we get an extra hour that night. Which means if I continue with my plan of letting the sun wake me up, I'll be getting up an hour earlier, time clockwise, because you gain that, so if you gain an hour, that means, sunrise has been at 7:30-ish, and so it goes to 6:30. So it means I'll be getting up even earlier. I wonder how that'll work out. Since I'm getting up with the sun, it shouldn't make any difference, right? Anyway, so we are home. We are lonely. Our girls are not here. We are picking them up today. They're getting a bath. They've had a wonderful time. Dennis has been getting texts, you know, just like they do at the daycare, you know, letting you know, oh, they ate their food. They've been playing so nice. They're such lovely girls. And we get Dennis gets texted a picture every day. But it's been nice to see them, and they've been having a wonderful time. All the pictures are with them interacting with other dogs, and they're doing great. So, all right, it's enough. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow. And please take good care of yourselves. Please stay safe and stay